Hey, everybody, I hope you can see me. I'm not getting a. There we go. Let's double check, see where we're at. Hey, everyone, welcome. Good to see you.
Hey everybody, I hope
Okay,
you
we're
can
good.
see me. I'm not
All
getting
right, so we're good. I'm going to start up TikTok and I'll show you what we got going on today. I just want to make sure everything holds because TikTok has a nasty habit of kicking out my stuff after I have it pre started. So let me do this and get started on TikTok. Good to see you all. All right, we're going live. Welcome, everybody. I haven't been here for a while. things kept coming up. Life and stuff, and next week's going to be another life week. But things kept coming up, and I didn't get a chance to work on this project at all this past week. Let me get started over here, okay? I'm going live. Okay. Okay, let me wait for TikTok to move in here, and then we'll get going. I'm glad to be back in here today. Really glad. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm doing a cookie house build. We're continuing our cookie house build for the National Lampoon's Vacation Cookie House. And we did, last time we touched this was sometime last week. And I've been meaning to do this like this time of day, but life keeps getting in the way. So today is the first day in a while that life hasn't gotten in the way. So I decided to do this today. So hopefully you guys can enjoy it. We'll be doing readings tonight at 6:45 p.m. Pacific. So there's no readings now, but yeah. So we did run out of yellow frosting because the idea of what we're supposed to do, and I still got to glue that end on, which I haven't done yet because I've been lazy. But I can show you pretty much on the roof what we're doing because it's easier to see. See those little dots on there? If you remember Christmas Vacation, Chevy Chase put millions of twinkling lights on the house. When I bought the kit, I initially thought that then we'll put more snow over the top of this is what we're going to do. We'll put snow on there so it looks like snow. Initially, when I bought the kit, I thought it had those twinkly lights with it, but it didn't. So these have to be put on manually with a tube. And of course, they didn't give me enough stuff in the tube to finish off. So we have a couple walls to do today. And I think what we're going to do is I'm going to add snow because I put the snow on first and I shouldn't have. See how it turned a weird color? So we're going to go ahead and flock it. And I'll probably do ice. I might do the sugar thing on there, or I might turn around and just put icing on there to make it look like snow. Just get it over with. So welcome everybody. Give me a like, follow, share. We're trying to get like 4,000 likes for this today. Welcome over there on the other two networks. Can't say what networks, but welcome. All right, so let's get the rest of these. See, I got all this icing. Let's get the rest of these twinkly lights on, and we'll continue. I forgot. I got to get off of here today and make a phone call for an Uber for next week for a doctor's appointment. So I forgot Monday's a holiday, so a federal holiday. So obviously, I probably can't Uber. I can't arrange my ride, so I got to make sure I get off of here and make the phone call before I take my afternoon rest. So it's good to see you guys. So the parts we're going to be working on today. I love the tip. I got to clip the tip. Obviously, do I have to clip the tip on this? Nope. Cool. No tip clip either. Okay, so this will be a lot easier. Last time I had to cut the tip. So I'll show you what's left. I pretty much covered up the main walls on here. So what I have left is I have I don't think this is an inside wall. I'll do it, but I don't think we have to. I really was down. It was kind of sad. I was just down to this. I think pretty much is what I was down to. So let me double check all these twinkly lights and make sure I have all the walls I need to get here. Oh no, I have these spots too. I have a couple small windows to do too. Yeah. These windows here I have to do on those walls. So it's really not a lot on this thing, as far as these twinkly lights go. Then we'll go ahead. I'm going to use frosting to. Oh, here's this too. I got to do this one. But I'm going to use frosting to, white frosting to do snow. And I'll put the sugar on top of the white frosting to make it glitter. Because I really didn't. I realized that it didn't come out the way it should have. So we're going to frost this. So hopefully we'll get through this. I was hoping to start putting the walls up, but we might get to that, or we may not today. But I'm not, for sure we're going to finish at least on tomorrow. If we work on this tomorrow, we should be able to start finishing this stuff. Hi, Doc. Hi, everybody. Hey, Kathy, what's up? So we should be able to start really putting the wraps on this tomorrow and put the roof on and everything, because I didn't like what happened with the snow flocks. So we're going to redo that today as well. So again, we ran out of icing, and then we had this to go, this to go, this to go, and that to go for icing. I think these are bracers. I don't know what this is. There's a piece here. That might be another part of a roof, for it. So we're going to have to probably paint that gray, which we'll do when the time comes. Okay, because I'm not sure what this is. I'm getting on one of the other networks and looking for instructions on how to actually put this thing together, because it's very confusing the way it's laid out. So I'm thinking this may have to be painted gray, before we do anything. But like I said, tomorrow we should be on the last steps on this thing, really close to being on the last steps. So let me get the icing. Let's see if this is going to work. And let me get my little work area for you guys. But I apologize. Life keeps getting in the way on this stuff. And, we all have to deal with life. And yesterday I was ready to go, and then my friend was hurting. I want to say hurting. And so I spent an hour and a half on the phone with my friend, and it blew me out for yesterday. Now, for those of you that are new, what I'm attempting to do is this, okay? The minute I move this, 800 things are going to fall. It's like Murphy's Law. We're attempting this, okay? It doesn't mean it's going to look like this, but this is the basic attempt, all right? So, just an FYI. Then behind this, we have Uncle Eddie's trailer, which I have a building kit coming, but I also have a cookie kit of a teardrop that we could trash it up to make it look like Uncle Eddie's, Cousin Eddie's trailer. So let's see if we can get some icing on here, get these things dots on. And like I said, I'm going to rework the spots that have the snow, because that didn't turn out the way I thought it would. So I'm going to rework it a different way so that we have snow. So let's do this. I think there's a hole already in this icing. I went out and bought icing to replace the icing. Icing to replace the icing. There's a mouthful. But yeah, I forgot I got to make a phone call for an Uber for my doctor's appointment on Wednesday. So let's see. I should probably need this stuff. Hi, Kathy. Good to see you. Welcome, everybody. Good to see everybody. I'm glad it has a round tip. That'll save me, miserable hassle. So I'm not putting these on in any order, because if I try to go straight up and down, it's not going to work right anyway. So I just, the people that put Christmas lights up, they're never straight unless you're going on a straight line. So if you're doing something like a house, walls like this, they're not going to be straight anyway. You're going to do the best you can, and the lights will go one way, lights will go the other way. So I mean, that's just part of the game. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is what I'm talking about. Yeah. Here's what I'm talking about. Should have had this in the first bloody place. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The yellow's a little bit more yellow than what I put on the other one, on the other half of the house, but we'll live. Oh yeah. Now this is what I'm talking about. This is what we should have been doing. Look at that. Dot, dot, dot. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Here I've been moaning about this for a week. Got a couple boogers right there. I don't like light boogers, but it's, look at that. It's just a shame that I didn't use this icing instead of the icing they gave me, because the colors would match really good. But you know what? We just have to deal with it. Let me show you, Matt. Look at this. Big difference with the tip. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So I'm just looking at the rest of the icing I put on. Let me show this. It's a close color. This is a little brighter, but I think we can get away with it. I don't think my OCD is gonna fight too much on this. So here we go. So I gotta make it. So I can't be squeezing like a mad woman on this. But we were so close when we were doing it the last time in that we had just these quick things to do on it, and it was really close. And unfortunately, we ran out of icing. Story of my life, right? I think that's the story of anybody's life doing these kinds of projects because they never give you enough icing ever. And it's boogering. We don't want it to booger. If it starts to booger, then we got to go back in like I'm doing now and fix the boogers. I call it boogering, when the icing just kind of keeps hanging there and you're just it's kind of like eating pizza, right? Same thing as pizza. Go to eat the pizza, cheese is hanging out your lips. That's what this icing is doing right now. Okay. So we got icing hanging everywhere. It's like eating pizza. So how's everybody doing? Happy Friday. But like I said, I have to make a phone call before I take my evening rest, before I do my other show, my psychic show, to make sure I arrange my medical Uber ride to the doctor's office. Why? Because Monday is Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, the day everybody celebrates. So I have to do it because it's a federal holiday, so I have to do the ride. Maybe I should just turn it. Maybe I can do it that way. Yeah, we'll just try it that way. I found out long ago. Oh. Again, no music on the other two networks because of copyright issues. So, unfortunately, I wish I could, but I can't. Good to see everyone. Good to see you all. Don't forget 6:45 if you're on TikTok. Dog just farted. She's in here. Woo! Eat some greenery, man. What's up with that? Yuck. Boy, that's enough to wake the dead. If we were just solely on TikTok, it'd be a different ballgame because we could have music in the background and stuff, but cannot do it with the other two networks. Last time I used the other networks, one of the networks, I'm not going to say which one, because with an F. I'll just say because with an F. Kathy, you're on both. How cool is that? But if it begins with an F and ends in a K, we'll just say that. It lit up like a Christmas tree with copyright infringement, so we're not playing it. We're not going there today. And I'm going to throw some of these in the middle of here, so we're going to really jumble it up with lights. Because, like it says, millions of twinkling lights. That's what the movie is, and that's what we're creating. So, like up the middle here, randomly slap some lights in. Got more boogers. See, I hate it when it starts to booger, but sometimes you can't avoid the boogers. I like boogers. Good to see Kathy. Good to see everybody today. Okay, I'm going to throw some more lights in here. And then we're going to shift over to the bigger side of the house there and do that. But it is a little bit brighter yellow. I think it would, in fact, it probably would have looked a lot better with this yellow. Because the idea is that the house, and I was trying to figure out why the house was painted yellow anyway. I thought it was kind of silly. But it dawned on me that the reason why the house is that color is because we're not looking at it during the day. We're looking at it at night with the lights on. And he had nothing but warm white lights on this thing. So that's why you've got that yellow effect. Like the sides of the house are yellow, that kind of thing. The house itself is probably white. It's not necessarily yellow. Okay, so I can throw in a few more. thousands, millions of twinkling lights. And then he blew out the whole city of Chicago. What a putz. Old Clark W. Griswold. So big news too now. Kathleen Kennedy, the Queen of Star Wars and Indiana Jones and all those other movies. She's actually, people thought it was speculation that she was going to retire. And it looks like she wrote something up today and put out a press release about it and how excited she is. The guy that gave us the Mandalorian and Andor and all that, he is going to be taking her spot, or one of the people to take her spot. So there's a lot of excitement. She's excited about it, and there's a lot of people. Star Wars fans are brutal, and it's interesting because you look at Star Wars fans, you look at Star Trek fans, and it's a whole different breed of people. Star Trek fans are more forgiving. Why, I don't know, but they tend to be more forgiving. Where Star Wars fans, they're looking at every little thing, the Luke Skywalker fart in the X-Wing, that kind of thing. And they're very, very critical of everything. George Lucas, he put up with a lot of people being critical about his work. So I mean, it's not something you can easily do with Star Wars to make changes. And so, of course, you got the people like me that think, okay, this is fine. Dave Filoni, gave us The Mandalorian. He gave us a couple other ones that were really good. So why not, And then there's the so-called Star Wars fans that are really upset by this, and they're launching their protests, that kind of thing. I think it's a good thing for Star Wars. I think Dave Filoni has done, under his tutelage. I mean, let's face it. Kathleen Kennedy had to approve a lot of the stuff that Filoni has done, and that's what people forget too. Kathy approved that stuff. Kathy's the one that approved Grogu. And as bad as things were going for Star Wars with the ugly fans, Grogu literally saved Star Wars. That little puppet, like Yoda before him, Grogu saved it. And so that was something that Dave Filoni and Kathleen, she had to sign off on it. So I mean, so you can't be all mad at Kathleen. People can be, these Star Wars guys don't stop to think about that. So there you go. That wall's done just about. See it? See it right there? I got one little spot right here. Then we'll start the other one. Millions of twinkly lights. So let that dry. Now we'll go to this guy because this has the most. We want to make sure we get it. The little ones we can cheat with. But so that announcement came out. It was a press release from Kathleen Kennedy today about, she doesn't say when she's leaving, but she's saying that, it's been wonderful doing it, and she's leaving it in Dave Filoni's capable hands. Poppy and Lara, thank you, Kathy. So it's exciting. It's exciting, and it's going to be a flash Goldie afternoon. So it is kind of exciting, because there are changes afoot at Star Wars, at Disney Lucasfilm. But and I think I've seen the saying over and over, and I tend to agree. No one hates Star Wars as much as Star Wars fans, and they don't. I mean, it's just incredibly hateful and toxic. And like I said, maybe there are Star Trek fans that are like that. I've seen a couple negatives, but I've never seen the vitriol that Star Wars fans. I've never seen that in Star Trek fans ever. I mean, it is vicious with Star Wars fans, or alleged Star Wars fans. This is their way or the highway. So I'm excited. I'm excited. In fact, I'm going to be watching Ahsoka today. I'm behind on them, so I'm going to be watching Ahsoka this weekend. But I'm way behind on my series. I let my Disney Channel go, and got a great deal over the holidays, and I'm going back in to watch Star Wars and stuff now to get caught up on my Star Wars. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not an Andor fan. I've watched 2 episodes of Andor and fell asleep. I just did not like Andor. So I'm not an Andor fan. So, in my opinion, if Andor were to go away, I'd be happy. I'm just saying, I'm just not a fan. That's like adult Star Wars. I don't want to watch something that I have to think about. I love it because Star Wars, for the most part, has always been like a kid's thing. It's always been kind of mindless, and I like that. If I want adult space program and serious adult stuff, I'll go watch Star Trek. Good to see everyone. So we're back to building. And I know some of you like this, some of you don't. I had people ask me about it yesterday because people like to watch the build come up. And like I said, yesterday was the intention to do this, and unfortunately, my friend needed me, so I had to back it off yesterday. But that's okay. I love my friend to pieces. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have gone to Disney like I did, and so I have her to thank. Lots of buggers. And I have her to thank for taking me to Disney like she did. A lot of money. Disney ain't cheap, that's for sure. But for me, the Mandalorian movie can't come fast enough, you know? The Mandalorian Grogu can't come fast enough for me. And the Elvis epic, yep. That whole Elvis in concert epic thing, that can't come fast enough. And I've seen comments about that too, where people are complaining, well, we've seen all this before. Well, what it is he did 3 documentaries over his lifespan in concert. And what they did was Baz Luhrmann went through and found a bunch of archival stuff at Graceland that had never been used. And so he took that archival stuff and he's using it for the show. So this is stuff people have never seen before, even though they think they have. And there's a new, I can't say record, but there's a new CD out, or whatever you want to call it, MP3 of a song. It's a remix of one of his songs, and I've seen people complain about it. I think it's great. I could dance to that sucker. They brought it up to this century. Trying to figure out what the easiest way to do to tap this on is going to be. So we'll see how we do today. Like I said, I got to make a phone call to this afternoon. And right before I came on here, I realized I had to make that phone call. So I'm going to have to, after I get off here right away, I'll have to go make the phone call, arrange my ride for Wednesday, and then get ready for my other show. Good to see everybody. Moderator Kathy's in the house. Good to see Kathy. Good to see you all. So we should be done now tomorrow. Like I said, tomorrow. In fact, if anything, if we can get the snow on here properly and everything, start working on, doing some cosmetic things to it. Tomorrow we should be starting to put the walls up to get those ready to go. And like I said, I have no idea how they go because there's like all these little extra pieces. There's bracers in here because this house is like 2 stories or whatever. For some reason, they put these bracers in it, and I don't know why. So I'm trying to figure out where all this stuff goes, and the instructions aren't very clear. So I have to go online and search. Sound effects. We will get some more sound effects. I won't be doing a lot. I won't be doing a few sound effects anymore. I found a site where I can grab sound effects and set it up like a MIDI player on my tablet. And that's going to be kind of fun. All right, I'm trying to collect 10 popcorns. If you guys can help me with that, chatty popcorns. I'll make you a popcorn sound. Trying to not booger this. Oh, there's one. I think I'm lifting up too high or something too fast. See what I mean? No bueno. Trying to keep the boogers down. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. It wants to booger. Is it because I don't do this? So I wonder if it's because I've got too much pressure on here or how I'm doing it. If anybody knows how to do this stuff with these things, tell me. I don't know if I push too hard, if I should reduce how I'm pushing it, or whatever to make it stop. Like that one formed together. We don't want that. I gotta tell you guys, I'm not a chef. I don't do this stuff. My sister is the one that is really good at this stuff. I, however, like with flowers and stuff, I have a black thumb for this kind of thing. Good to see everybody. I'm going to put less pressure on it. Maybe that's what I keep pushing hard, and maybe I shouldn't push as hard, even though they won't be as big. See, it seems like when I don't push as hard, it works better. I don't get boogers. So I'm randomly slapping these on here. Then what I'll do is I'll go back through, and we'll fill in the open spaces with it. There's one booger. We'll fill in the open spaces. It's good to see everybody. Glad you all came. Good to be back working on this. And the time will fly. I love doing this stuff. And then I'll be in here working and I'll look up and go, oh my God, it's that time already. Thank you. Double tap that screen for some likes, you guys. Keep them likes flowing. Make TikTok proud. No Pamela yet. Pamela says she'd be in. I got 3 people watching, so Pamela's either watching or they're listening. People are listening over there, so that works. All right, let's continue, shall we? Millions of little sparkly lights. And watching this movie, which I finally did watch it this year, I can really sympathize with him when they would go into the garage and turn the lights off at that switch because they had no idea he was hooked up there. And I've had that happen more than once, where somebody's gone in. I put this is because there was a light switch in what would have been my garage, my laundry room, that controls the plug that's outside. And there'd been more than one time that my dad over the years had gone in there and seen that thing on, and then flipped the switch on, and all the lights went dark. So I can see how he got upset that night. That was the night he kicked the Santa Claus across the yard. Clark did, because he'd no sooner get it going, and then it would pop out like a fuse had gone. But it wasn't a fuse. It was the family going in and out to get sodas out of that particular area, and then they would see that switch on. They flipped the switch on, and then the wife figured it out. What was going on with that. So what I'm doing is, as I'm going, if I have any frosting boogers, I'm going through and moving them around. And I have some advice. I have to gripe about something today. I had to go get a couple prescriptions, so I'm not going to say what pharmacy. But they have a drive-through. And people in drive-throughs, I don't know, people lose all their sense of humanity in a drive-through. In front of me, I go to pull up and I thought, hot dog, there's only one guy in front of me. I'll go pop right in and get my stuff, it'll be good. And I get up there, and there's no movement at all from the pharmacist, at all. And the car in front of me, sitting there waiting. I mean, this took forever. I must have sat in line behind this guy for like a half hour. Or whoever this person was. And it finally dawned on me what this person did. And they shouldn't allow it in a drive-through, pharmacy. But more than likely what was causing the slowdown, it wasn't the fact that the pharmacy had the wrong meds. I think this guy had a newer prescription and submitted it through the drive-through, and they were accommodating them. And so by the time he gets done, there's like 10 cars backed up. That's my gripe. That's where I'm going with this, with what I'm saying, is that, guys, if you have a new prescription or a prescription that you're having trouble with, don't go to the drive-through where everybody's trying to get in and get out. Maybe some people are on their lunch hour, waiting to get their script. Don't go take up somebody else's time. You have the time to sit there. If you have the time to sit there in your car and wait for your script to come up, then you have the time to go walk into the store and get your script. Go stand in line like everybody else. Don't do that to people. Because essentially that's what happened. Because you know how the pharmacists are. They'll say, hey, can you wait 10, 15 minutes and we'll have this up for you. Well, you're in a drive-through. Supposed to be pick up, grab. People doing fast food all the time too. Whether it's Carl's or McDonald's or whatever. I mean, people do this all the time. Whether it's human nature, I think it's selfish. I think it's just plain selfishness. It's my opinion, but it's just being selfish. Don't do it. And those people were starting to honk horns. I mean, yeah, this was like 12:30 in the afternoon. And, people are going, like I said, people are on their lunch hour from work. They're going to pick up their meds. And you're going to hold the line up because you didn't go inside to get your meds, properly. Not right. Not fair to everybody. And again, not only at Walgreens or places like Walgreens, this happens at McDonald's. This happens at Carl's every day, Every day, the employees at McDonald's and Carl's Jr. and places like that, and Burger King or KFC or wherever you go, have to put up with this kind of thing in their drive-thrus. People that get up there, they want special orders on their meals, so it's going to take longer to cook their meal, that kind of thing, and they're going to sit there and wait. That's why, and this is what was smart about what they did in the end, like all the fast food places, was that they turned around and they added those parking spaces. So when your French fries are late, if your food's going to run late, they park you over somewhere so you're not in the drive-through lane, and then they bring your food out when it's ready instead of you taking up somebody else's time, which I think is great. It's too bad the pharmacies can't do that, but they're shorthanded, So, I mean, you can't really, they're doing the best they can. Because I know this particular pharmacy is the only one in my area, is the only one in my half of the area by where I live. So they've taken on a lot more patients. So they are, they tend to get, it's just too much for them to handle. Because several of the store pharmacies have closed around here. So that's what they're doing, is they're taking on, their clients. So that I get, I understand that. If I could just keep coming up and have it cut off without boogering on me, it'd be fine. That's what I'm trying to do. Millions of twinkly lights. I'm just trying to fill in the holes in between some of this so we can keep the millions of twinkly lights effect going. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to be bitter or complain. I'm just saying that it's common courtesy to others. Instead of being the entitled few or think you're entitled more so than anybody else in those lines. Another booger. I hate them. Hate the boogers. But there's a lot of people that are entitled, and it drives me nuts. In fact, I was getting ready to back out because I had been there like 30 minutes sitting in my car. I was ready to back out, then somebody pulled in behind me. And it's a one space deal. So once the car pulled in behind me, I was doomed. I was going to sit there no matter what. So luckily, after about 35 minutes, they finally got their script done. I didn't complain because, like I said, I know what's going on at this store, how overwhelmed they are. So I didn't complain. And maybe I should have, I don't know. But I know they're overwhelmed. All right there in the middle, these are the few, and then this thing is done, and I can get on with the smaller ones that I had. Then we're going to get that white frosting, and we're going to make the snow on the roof and stuff, because we're not going to be putting the roof up anyway until probably tomorrow or Sunday to get that roof on there. It's just FYI for those of you over on the other two networks, the system will reset, so you're going to lose me. Okay, you're going to go blank, but then you'll come back. So just know that, okay? So don't think that you're off completely over there. Millions of twinkly lights. I think we got this. I do believe we're good. We're good to go. So here we go. Here's the side of the house with the millions of twinkly lights. Look at that. Millions and millions of twinkly lights. So let me do the smaller ones. And I'm going to look at the other places too that I did earlier. And we'll see if we have to add lights on there. There's that one. So let's do these. And then I'll look at the one I already did. Like over here is okay. I just want to make sure I have it covered really good on both, where it's supposed to be covered. No open spaces. Like over here, there's a couple open spaces I can add. So this won't be hard at all. This one is just a matter of on the window, on the shutters. Get to get my hair cut, my hair dyed, maybe this weekend. Let's see how I get to it. See if life itself allows me to get out and do stuff. Yeah, I was really tired yesterday too. Last night, when I did my show, I was exhausted. Wasn't feeling good. Did my show anyway. But don't forget, when I leave here, it'll be 6:45 p.m. Pacific. Come join me tonight for a fun Friday night. I'm not like any psychic you've ever seen in your life, especially on TikTok. We have a lot of fun. Geez, Gypsy, eat some roughage. Ugh. She is really laying them flat today, boy. I guess she was in the cat room the other day, and in front of the cat cage thing that I have them in when I went in here. I went in there to check them all out, and the cats had a real funny look on their face. So she must have laid a couple of them on the cats. The cats were having none of it. Okay, well this was done. That was simple. See, that one's ready to go. Thousands of twinkly lights. With this guy. So yeah, we're gonna do the snow again on that roof. I kind of blew it, so we'll just do it. Do it. It's amazing how fast the time goes. I mean, I got in here, got started around 2:45. It's already coming up on 3:30 already. I found out long ago. Yeah. I mean, guys, Chevy Chase has burned his bridges this year. But no matter what you think of the man, these movies are hilarious, you know? They stand the test of time and they're hilarious. Okay, let me get this booger done. I think we're just about done. So that's that. So let me look at the other stuff we've done and see if we need to add any more twinkly lights on those other parts. And then we're going to go ahead and put the snow. We're going to reflock the snow so that it looks like snow. Because right now it doesn't look like snow. It looks like it looks like black snow. It looks like Cleveland snow, is what it looks like. So laughingly, we'd call it Chicago snow. See, so there's that one, that little one. There's thousands of twinkly lights. All right, let's look at these other ones. We've done like the front. I think the front's pretty good. As far as the lights go, I think we're pretty full. There's a couple spots. I'm afraid because these are different colors. So see what it looks like when I add one. If I decide to add anything on there. It's close. It's not bad. The color's not bad. The color that they had originally was a little dull. But it's not bad. I mean, I can honestly say it's not bad. So I'm just going to do some dabs here. Anywhere where I see anything open, small dabs. Booger, booger, booger. So yeah, I'll just do some dabs on this. All right. Yeah, see, this one's pretty good. The front door is really good. This guy here is where I have to do it because we were running low on this stuff. See it? I was running low, so I have to dab that one. We have to put some on that one. That looks good over there, pretty much. We could add a few on here. We'll see. This one may need a few. But this one does a lot because I was starting to run low and I was just trying to get as much on here as possible before I ran out the other day. So we're just going to dab in the middle of these things. Add millions of twinkly lights. So I hope everybody's looking forward to the weekend. I know it snowed in a lot of places last night. People got a lot of snow up in like Wisconsin, Minnesota. Here it was t-shirt weather yesterday. I think it's t-shirt weather today. Because I had a coat, I had a jacket on this morning, but I think it was t-shirt weather outside today too. I know yesterday I didn't wear a coat at all. I just had my t-shirt on, which was nice. Another booger, we'll fix it. Making sure we have enough twinkly lights on this bad boy. Fill it on in. But there's things out there that irritate me with humanity. Humanity marches to its own drum, and you got your Karens. I'm not a Karen. Well, I'm kind of a Karen. When I get mad, I can be a Karen. But other than that, I'm an easygoing person like my mom. My mom was easygoing. And so it takes a lot to really irritate me. But when I do get irritated, it's. I said to a friend of mine in the car one day, and someone that knows me really well, and I don't know where we were driving to. It was a long time ago, like about 15 years ago. She was in the car with me, and somebody cut me off in traffic, or something happened, and my friend just looks over at me and goes, "Oh," because she knew I was gonna totally launch over it. That it really irritated me. But right away you hear her, just the way she said it. It was like one of those things people would say, "Oh boy," like in a movie. "Oh no," like that. Only it was the S word, because she knew I was going to have a fit. I wasn't going to take it well. But I'm normally pretty easygoing. In fact, sometimes I'm too easygoing. Sometimes I let more slide than I should, that kind of thing. Even with my dog, I let her get away. Well, my theory with the dog is that she keeps an eye on me, make sure that I'm okay. Like yesterday, I fell asleep. I probably was making noises, or she wanted to make sure I fell asleep. I must have been in the position I was in. And she woke me up because she put her face against mine because she was checking out to see if I was okay. Breathing or whatever. So when she does something bad, even though it's bad, I've yelled at her. But I figure she kind of gets a hall pass because she does watch me, just like the other day when I was cooking and moving something around the kitchen, and you could hear the pans crash. I was doing dishes. You could hear the pans crash. And I look back, and the dog comes in to see if I'm okay. So, like I said, she gets a hall pass for being mischievous. All right, that looks good. See, we got thousands of lights on that one. Oh, right there, I could add some around the corner right there. See, this is how we want it. We want it to look like this with all those lights. That's the key. And those are merging in perfectly as they dry. So let me pop something right here. And then we'll move on to that other part I was looking at. Pop something in right here. There we go. All right, so that's done. And any place where, we're going to have areas that they're seeing, we can always put snow on those. It's no biggie. Oh, right here, I see a spot right there. This is where my OCD comes in because I'll be seeing spots everywhere out here that need to be filled. Just like I got to cut my front lawn. I don't want to use my lawnmower, so I'm going to use my weed eater. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go OCD because I'll know sooner get the places cut. Then I'll see stuff that's long that I might have missed. And then I'll be out there for days just trying to get the parts that I missed. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Hey, TPRZ. Welcome. So this one's done. Now we're going to do the other one. Remember, this is the one that I did sparse. Oh, there's a spot there. See, that's what I mean. If I keep sitting here, I'm going to keep doing this. I have to stop. See, because we got millions of twinkly lights. But I was cutting back on it because I was running out. So let's make sure we get these things covered. Like, see how much wider these are, space? That's because I was running short. So we're going to fill in between the spaces on here and do the space work. See, now you can see there's like millions of twinkly lights on this thing. And like I said, my OCD really kicks in with this. Because I could sit here for days just filling in twinkly lights, I'll tell you. Hey, TPR, how you feeling, buddy? Good to see you. Welcome to my playroom. See, we're just going to jam in a bunch of twinkly lights in here. Oh, a booger. Ooh, a big booger on that one. So we will probably set tomorrow. We will start putting the walls officially up, which is going to be fun. After I study a couple videos elsewhere to see what how to do it, because the instructions were definitely lacking for that sort of thing. I'm just glad now looking back on this and buying this, I'm glad I bought it because it does allow me to fill in the spots that I spread too wide out on it. So that makes me happy. Then it does look like millions of twinkly lights. So I wish we could play music. It's a bummer, but we can't. As it was, years ago, I wrote my own theme song for my travel show that I had, and a theme song for my ghost team. Has always had a theme song, and I was fighting all the time with them over that, and I finally won that fight because that was original. All the stuff I had used was royalty free. The riffs and everything. Just trying to get in here and add the twinkly lights. But again, I can really understand Clark losing it and kicking the Santa sleigh across the yard, because I have a similar switch system that he did, only not quite as full of lights like that, but there's a master switch to the one part of the lights out front. Right now I have it on two different. One comes out of the door and plugs inside the kitchen. The other one is the master switch. Not a TikTok thing. Is what a TikTok thing? The music or what? I can't say who it is, but let's just say the other networks that most people use for video, the other two apps, are the ones that have a thing against the music. TikTok tends to own a lot of copyright, or not own it, but TikTok has licenses for a lot of the music, where the other ones don't. So you run into that. You think you make a reel, and well, even making reels over there. If you make a reel, the same reel you make over here. Yeah, music. Yeah, no music. Yeah, even if you make a reel over here and you go over there, and let's say you make two videos, you make one silent one because you're gonna have to do the work. You're gonna have to put it in over there, right? They have the music on there, but over there it comes out of your like the money I would make off that particular video. The copyright guy can claim it and then take the money for the music. So they don't have the same types of what's the word? The same types of rights that TikTok has. Where TikTok you can go to a minute with some of the music because TikTok has the right. Now there was one point about a year and a half ago. I don't know if anybody remembers this, where TikTok was in negotiations. So every video that you had as a content creator, if you used TikTok for the video, there was no music on it. It all got removed until they got done with the negotiations, and then they put the music back on the videos. So a lot of my videos had no music at all. But you run into that over there, And what's interesting is even if you say pull a video off TikTok and run it over there, there's still copyright issues with it. So you just don't do music. Christmas, man. I swear to God, last time I did this, I got off of here. I wasn't off of here 5 seconds, and half my video was muted because of Christmas music over there. So it's crazy. You know, so I just decided it's just not worth going through the hassles and get those things saying, well, eventually if you keep doing this, we're going to close your account, blah, blah, blah. It's just, it's just more logical to just not do it at all. Now, again, going back to the stuff I wrote, that was through Adobe. And originally, when you would buy Adobe Audition, you had Adobe Audition, which is a really good audio editor, you would get these CDs. And these CDs had nothing but free music riffs on them. And I'm talking drums, you name it, any instrument you can think of. So you could take these riffs, these 2-second riffs, and put them together and make a song because they were royalty free. So I wrote 2 songs. Like I said, I wrote the song that my team uses. I have a theme song for my paranormal team, which I use on my podcast. And then I also have a song from when I was doing a travel show called California Adventures, before Disney built their California Adventures. And it's the song on the podcast that used to light up every time. And I'd be in arguments with the one network, not so much the other one, but the one. And finally, they backed off of it. Finally, they probably put it in their file in the computer. They don't bother me with it anymore. But they used to get me all the time on it and say that it was unoriginal content. But it was my content. So, like I said, it's much safer to take the route like I am now and not even put music on this at all. As much as I would like to have music in the background. Okay, so this one's done. Again, we got to wait for this all to dry, but see, remember how it looked when I started? So now I've added all those millions of twinkly lights. And this other one that I did for the front door, I guess I could add a few more in this. I think this was not too bad. That's going to dry. But we are, like I said, we're going to make snow. What time is it? Yeah. See, so I'll be out of here like 4:15. 4:15. I still got to make that phone call. But we'll make some snow for the roof because the way I did it, I don't like the way I did it. That's what I get for doing it the way I wanted to instead of the way I should have. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. That's what happens in life. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. As my dad says, I attacked it. Yeah, I think this is okay. So I'll show you what we're attempting to build as opposed to what's going on right now. And I do mean attempt. Okay, there's the things I want to work on today. So there you go. So we have our twinkly lights. Now let the twinkly lights dry now. Here's what we're supposed to look like. Okay. What our end is going to look like in theory. Good luck with that, right? In theory, it's supposed to look like that. Doesn't mean it's going to. I'm just saying. So we'll close this out. So what we're going to do now is I did not do the snow correctly on the roof. Oh, I wanted to look at something really quick. There's something I wanted to see. Hang on. Where is there's a cross panel. Oh, there it is. I think that's underneath there. Okay, so that cross panel, I could add more twinkly lights on this panel. I think I will. This one needs more. See it? Not enough lights. So we'll add more twinkly lights on that. And then I got to figure out, and what I'm looking at is this square piece I have here. Where does that go? So that's where I'm unclear about the pieces. Because it's got blocking pieces in there, but I don't know where they go. The pieces, to me, don't make sense. So let's go ahead and do twinkly lights on the roof. I think we need to. And we'll make sure the roof's done. That we have enough twinklies on the roof. And then we'll put some snow on it, and we'll probably call it. But I do have to make that phone call. Get my hour nap in before the show. So I can be all fresh and happy for you guys. So let's see. Twinkly light 1, twinkly light 2. Yeah, well, it's just hard because like an idiot, I tried to snow flock this, and now it's got sugar on there. And it's hard to put the frosting drops on the sugar because it just doesn't stick good. So I'll do my best. I've got to add the twinkly lights on here because it looks like 7,000. If you know what's going to happen too is that when I add the snow on here officially, you're not going to see the twinkly lights. You're going to barely see them on here. So I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's a good thing what I'm doing, but on the other hand, it's kind of pointless. But just in case it can be seen, you really want to be able to see the millions of twinkly lights, right? All this does is make a big sugar mess doing it this way. But again, like I said, you're not going to really see them because this is going to be covered with snow. See, so we're just adding a few more twinkly lights on here. Make it look good, you know? Because again, this is all snow. This is snowy roof. We got 2 people over there on the other network watching. The other 2 networks. Where's my wipey wipe? But it does get really, really weird trying to work over the sugar, which I should have, you know. It is what it is. I enjoy doing it, so I don't care. Well, it's a little work, right? And the dog's been behaving all day, getting in and out of her crate for me. No problems with her today. She's behaving. Okay, I think that's good. We'll just let that dry. So before I put the snow on, it's got to dry. So I just added some more twinkly lights on there. The roof I did pretty good. If it's towards the bottom again where the snow went, is where it was hard to put this stuff on, so I didn't put as much on. So again, you could tell on the top part of the roof, we got a lot of twinkly lights going on. But on the bottom, there's not as many, and that's because I was having issues with the sugar. Trying to put on over the sugar. So I could add, I'll try to add a couple more drops in here, but I think we're going to leave it alone. In fact, the other one now, I'm going to go ahead and do it with frosting. And we'll go ahead and add snow on there because I just don't think they're all going to show through anyway. So there's really no point killing myself adding twinkly lights on the roof. There's really no point. So let's do that. Let's do that other one with the regular frosting because I don't still think there's a point. You know, there's just really no point. Because they're supposed to show up. If you look closely at the photo, which you can't see closely on the photo, but the twinkly lights show up underneath the frosting. So we're just going to, this is what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is how we're going to do it. Behold, Pillsbury to the rescue. Let me go grab a paintbrush. I'll be right back. I forgot to bring them in. And we'll frost the snow on there. We'll make some snow. So we'll brush it on there and then we'll throw the sugar on there to make it sparkly like snow, which is probably what I should have done, but I'm an idiot. I'm no baker. That's why you'll see me cooking on TikTok, but you won't see me baking on TikTok. Doesn't work out for me. I'm like that kid in the Polar Express. Christmas just doesn't work out for me. Well, being a baker just, I can make things and bake things and all that, but when it comes down to it, being a baker sometimes just doesn't work out for me. Use this one. Okay, here we go. So I should have done this in the first freaking place, but I didn't because that's just how I am. As my father would say, I attacked it. So you want to be able to see these lights underneath. So it's not going to be a real huge thing of snow on here because you're going to want to see those twinkly lights underneath, like in the photo. So I'm just going to, as the story says, a little dab will do you. We're going to dab this on, give it a snowy effect. In fact, I'm brushing too much. I need to just dab it on because it's snow. And who knows? Maybe they had like a winter thaw or something. We don't know. This is Chicago, right? So I'm going to do it like this because you still want to see those lights a little bit. So we're just going to do the shape that they want. I'm just going to do a dabby. We're going to dab this on. Just like that. So you can see the lights underneath the snow. That's the key. And yes, I will take a spoonful of this in the end, like I always do for you guys. But we're just trying to make it look like there's snow on here. I think this is the best way. Excuse me. Pardon me. Pardon me. Okay, I think we got this. So let me grab the sugar. I think I put the sugar in here. Makes you want to sing the song, right? A robin feathering his nest has very little time to rest. While gathering his twigs of hey, it's a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down. Where's the sugar? Might be over one of those other ones. Oh, here it is. Nope, that's not the sugar. Is that the sugar? No, that's frosting. Let me find the sugar. Medicine go down. It's got to be over here somewhere. Let me look for the sugar. Oh, there it is. See, I know it's in here because I was making sure it wouldn't make this humongous mess. There's the sugar. So what we're going to do, and there's really no logical way to lay the sugar on except just to pour the heck out of it. So there's the mess. Look, Mom, big mess. In the most delightful way, a robin feathering his nest has very copyright to rest. Well, gathering the bits. Oh, that looks nice. If it dries that way, it'll be very, very good. Okay. Very, very good. Well, gathering the twigs of friction for. I think we got us some snow, gang. I'll show you. Say hello to my little snow. It's all pouring off because we know we'll do that. There we go. Nice and snowy. See? Nice and snowy roof edge. There we go. That's obviously got to dry now. So that's not bad. Not bad at all. But let that dry. Now that looks correct. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Why not? We might as well do this. Something we could accomplish before I stop today. Let's do this other one. And that other one, that side one's got to be done too. Let's see if I don't mix the colors, I'll be happy. If I start mixing the color with my white, I'm going to stop because I don't want to ruin my white stuff either. We're going to have to put some bushes on the bottom of this house too. Robin feathering his nest is very. I'm going to go very lightly. I went a little more intense on that one, but I'm going to go lightly on this one. Let it drag across. There we go. A robin feathering his nest has very little time to rest. I don't want to get copyrighted, but I miss having music. It's such a part of my life. La 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 la. Okay, sorry. We're making snowy roof. Dun 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 dun. Okay, I'll shut up now so I don't get in trouble. And the person who's Dick Van Dyke who follows me here on TikTok, if it is you, thank you for following me. I enjoy your stuff. I love it. I love seeing your videos. Probably not Dick Van Dyke, but you never know. I just thought I'd acknowledge him because he does come in from time to time. And I have been like frequenting his actual page. So. Yeah, there we go. See? That's what we want up there like that. Too much. too much of a good thing there. I'd like to make a snow trip with you guys this week or this year. We'll see how that works out. If I get my car like what it's supposed to be. I haven't done a snow trip in ages. And my dog would probably love the snow. I had a Kelpie that just loved the snow. In fact, I have pictures of her. I'm snowshoeing. She's following me around. I even trained her to go down on a sled because I had a sled with brakes. And she used to run down the hill following me. And then I got her to get on it one time, and I trained her how to do it. How to sit on there. She had a blast. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so there's that one. Let's get some sugar. Sugar, na 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 na. My luck, I'll dump it over and I'll be in the sugar. It's just how it is in my house. Okay, here we go. Sugar, 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 sugar. Sugar, 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 sugar. And yeah, there's no glue on this house, at least not yet. So technically, it is edible. There we go. Theoretically, you could eat it when it's done. So we just did the reset. Hope you guys are still out there. Yeah, you're still there. Like I told you, there's always a reset after an hour. So the reset just went through. So let me tilt this up. So that one held really good. Technically, I can just put my finger across here and push it down. Make sure it holds even more. So there we go. That one's ready to dry. I'll show you that one. That one looks even better than the other one. I'm going to try and flatten the other one. See how I flattened it out? And it sparkles because it's got sugar in there. There's sugar on it, so it does sparkle. Like so. Let me go look at the other one I just did. I'll try and do a flat down on that one. Then when I take this, when I go to put this away tonight, when I go to get to my other show, nothing but sugar falls all over me. It's amazing I don't have ants in here. So we're going to go ahead and do a flat down on this one. I mean, I like it. I love the snow texture, but I want to make sure the sugar stays in there. So I'll flat down just enough to get it in there, so it looks snowy, yet, sugary. Yeah, it looks like snow, see? And there's a chunk missing. I have to glue that on. But that's been painted, so that's cool. That'll just go on. That'll be the only part that's not edible, is that part, because I had to glue it on. I'm going to have to glue it on. All right, let's do this right here. Let's do this one. Then we'll be able to let this dry. By the time I come back in here at 6, this will be dry, and I can put it over in a spot. And then we'll be back tomorrow at 2 to start. I mean, these walls are ready to be put up. The outside walls, so we'll be ready to put those walls up. The only thing we're going to have to do is do the bushes on that one side, the front. We'll have to put the green bushes on there. Same process. Paint over the top of the beautiful lights. Paint over the top of all the lights, and then do it that way, just like we're doing right now. You guys can see me. This is Pillsbury frosting. Pillsbury vanilla. And I did buy a house already for Valentine's Day. So once we get this done, get that trailer done, and then get that other Christmas house done that collapsed in on us, we're going to get to that. We'll start doing the Valentine's house the first week of February. Somewhere in there. So we have a Valentine's house to build. My mother was the one, when these things would fall apart when you put them together, my mother used to get frustrated. And she'd look at me, she'd go, you know what I would do? And I said, what? Go get the plaster of Paris. My mother was a trip. My mother was very crafty. But that was her thing. She'd look at me because she'd get frustrated because stuff would start like that one over there that collapsed. That would irritate her. And so one day she looked at me and just went, Charlotte, go get we're not going to eat these anyway. Go get the plaster of Paris. And we did. We did walls and roof on one, all the plaster of Paris. And you know what? That one's still up in the attic in a box. It still survived. It was all plaster of Paris. It is frustrating. Like that other one, we just about had it done. It was beautiful. We were just adding extra colors to it and stuff, paint and stuff, technically, and then the thing collapsed on us. Now, if my mother were alive, she would have been screaming for plaster of Paris because that's how she was. You'd be surprised what you can do with plaster of Paris. I sealed up mouse holes with it. And not to be cruel, because there's people that are like in mice, not in my walls, like in my craft room way in the back. We had, I don't know if it was one or two back there. And I used to see him occasionally. I'd go in there and go grab something for crafting, and the thing would run out and scare the hell out of me. So I had my way of taking care of it. I don't believe in poisoning. I don't like that. I waited for a day that it was out of there. I made sure it wasn't in there. And I sealed off the hole, and then you could hear them come like at night. They would be scratching to get in. But I wasn't about to put any point. I got dogs, I got cats. I'm not going to put that stuff out. Okay, so let me do this. I don't believe in being cruel to animals. All right, let's put the sugar on here. I like this because the paintbrushes don't get ruined. You just soak them in water again and paintbrush, and his paint's done. So as you can see, and I'll show you what I'm talking about with the front. See down here. I think those are supposed to be the Christmas trees, but they only gave us 3 Christmas trees. So what we're going to have to do is do the same thing I'm doing with the snow before we even put it up. Do the same thing with the snow, only we're doing it with greenery. And I have extra green, so if we start to run low on the green, putting it on, the green sugar, I have extra. From a build for the St. Patrick's Day build we did last year. So there's plenty of extra green. In fact, we could do it. We could start this. What time is it? I could almost start it today, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how long I'm going to be on hold with my phone call. So I'm just trying to figure that out today. All right, so we're just going to clump this down. There we go. All right. Those phone calls usually don't take very long to arrange for my Uber, but you never know. Could have a busy day because it's before a holiday. I forgot it's a 3-day weekend for a lot of people. Okay, so this is all nicely done. So there we go. So this is flocked in now. Okay. Very, very good. Let that dry now. Find a place to dry it. Okay, lots of sugar. No way to save the sugar, so I'm going to drop it in on this one. And like the other day, I was talking about this. If the sugar hadn't worked, I have for my little village that I built for myself, that village I built. I have craft snow. Not snow so much, but it's called snow text, and it does the same thing I just did with the frosting. Only it's snow. It's called snow tips. And then I also have the sparkly stuff that's real tiny to look like snow. That's wonderful, Alice. Glad you guys are talking amongst each other. Thank you so much. Good to see you guys. So yeah, so let's see. What time is it right now? I could probably squeeze in, maybe doing some greenery work. Maybe. Where's the bay window? Let's see. Where's the front? There's the front with the bay window. Because the greenery work is going to go down. I think we can do the front here. Let's do the quick front. See, this looks like those Christmas trees. It looks like they squashed them down and cut them. Because they only gave me, this looks like those Christmas tree things they gave me to make it with. I'll show you what they gave me. Maybe there is enough of these. See, they gave me a bunch of these Christmas trees. Well, only 5 of them. Looks like they cut them and squashed them and put them on. So I don't know. I mean, these are hard. Again, the other logical way is that we could put them in the front yard like trees, right? Then we could turn around, because I do have that green stuff. We could turn around and put the green along the base right there. I think they gave us green too. Not positive, but I think they did. Might have to wait for that decision tomorrow. Because by the time I find it, I'll make a decision. It's going to be time to put everything away. So that's it for today. Then we're going to close it down, and got a lot done. You know, a lot more. I did things I didn't think I was going to do today. So it's nice. So I'm going to leave these out right now for the next couple hours to dry. I'll be back at 6:45 p.m. Pacific to do tarot card readings tonight. So come join me. It's always fun. It's always an adventure when I do readings. And thank you guys for coming today. I appreciate it. You guys over here at the other 2 networks, again, if you have a TikTok account, come on over to California Haunts. Come pay us a visit, and we'll have some fun tonight. We'll have some fun. And for you guys, come on over tonight, 6:45 p.m. Pacific. We're going to have us a ball. And thank you, TPRZ, Kathy, and everybody else that popped in today to take a look at all this and what was going on. So again, tomorrow we will continue, and we'll add the greenery on the front of the house and stuff. And we should be able to start. I'm missing a Christmas light here, too. I got to replace. But we should be able to start putting the house together tomorrow. So it's going to be interesting to see, how it works out, how we get it together. Is it going to stay together? Or is it going to fall apart on us? Or what's it going to do? Well, I have to resort, like my mother says, to plaster of Paris, which would be quite funny. Or super glue or whatever, to put together. Blessings in the house. All right. So that'll be tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific. Or wait a minute, I might have a private reading tomorrow. I'll have to check up for my private reading. So it'll either be tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific or 3 p.m. Pacific. Okay? I'll have to touch base my private reading, because the private reading might be Sunday. We don't know yet. So I'll double check all that, and then we'll set up a time for this for tomorrow. All right, everybody, I'm going to sign out over here. Give me a second. Let me get this signed out. Good night, everybody over on the other 2 networks. Bye-bye.